just because I panicked. I even restarted the first time because I saw that there was a car alarm I could use. But then the weirdest thing of them all happened. The moment I restarted, the horde's behavior changed. And it's something I started noticing since then, but I I couldn't put my finger on it since I didn't die that much. And the time frame where I could look at it I is way too short. Because I now believe that when you die, the game's difficulty resets. That the longer you are alive, the more aware and precise and dangerous your environment becomes. I mean the NPC controller becomes stronger, you know. Um, and when I first fought that horde, I think I just blasted and then the entire horde swarmed me. But when I restarted and they were even walking past that barn, and then I shot the car alarm, but only like an eighth of the entire swamp was interested in that car. Then I restarted again because I suddenly noticed, yeah, I can put a fuel barrel beside it and then blow shit up. And then I learned that the audio attractors are a thing and stuff. But yeah, each time I restarted, the game became easier. And that was odd because I played it on hard too. Like on one hand, this is cool because it was resetting to the base difficulty. I hope. Like I said, I don't have enough a sample size. I really hope that it was just a reset to base difficulty and we didn't go down difficulties. Um, and I bel yeah, I really hope that this difficulty slider of awareness and deadliness really goes up the longer you are alive, but only resets to point zero to your selected difficulty at lowest. Um, because if it becomes easier than that, that would be a problem. Maybe when and if I play this game again, and this is something I will pay attention to. And uh, the problem would be like, why select the highest difficulty if the game auto corrects to a lower one? It's like assisted mode in other games where you have extra features on that help you shoot or something. Like, you switch those off for a reason. But then again, this is only babbling about since it was something I didn't had enough time to pay attention to. Um, yeah. And I guess this is now we were no, this is not the point of that. Talk about something else first. Because from all of the weapons that we have, let's go to a locker, let's not go to a station. My point is simply that the weapons that I found at Wizard Island don't fit this theme. I would have much more liked it with the if the weapons, like we suddenly found a bunch of World War II weaponry, and those would have been way nicer to find at Tucker's farm. You know, since she has this Wild West theme. So then finding the stuff like the Tommy gun, having this Winchester, having this weird shotgun that shoots 5 rounds in one bullet, you know, um, that would have been way more on theme for her farm. And then when we come to Wizard Islands, then we find the M4 and the semi-automatic shotgun, all of that is super wicked stuff. Like this weapon and my LMG, don't forget that this is stuff we got for horde hunting. So it's not something we would we can buy. It's an achievement thing. But here is, for example, the biggest comparison, you know, MG45 and the M2449 versus the RPK. Like, you know, the Russian MG or the USA LMG. Like, this is something you would expect to get from a military outpost, and then this one more scuffed laying around. It's it's odd. Sure, Tucker's farm Alekai had those words about, yes, protecting your Second Amendment rights and everything, which was quite cute, but still, it would have been more on the cowboy theme if you don't get the SMG there, but this heavy caliber, you know, the Eliminator. Everyone had a version of the little stubby. And then at the Wizard's Lake, you would get those high end AR-15s, hyper penetrative ammo. Like the only weapon that was on theme is the 50 caliber. You know, the thing that one shots everything. The Talon was still okay. Uh, just like this one, C8 automatic rifle. They're still okay at Tux Farm. But it would have been more on theme, is all I'm saying. It's not a super huge criticism. Yeah. Also, that the Winchester is able to one-shot pretty much everything. And I don't know enough about weapons if this rifle really is capable of doing that or not. But it's odd. It's the rule of cool that doesn't make sense there. Here's the biggest problem though. I'm not the smartest person out there. And I have forgotten now the biggest problem of this game that I wanted to highlight. It's fucking bad, man. Oh, the problem is replayability. As much as I have enjoyed my journey throughout this game, I don't think this is a game you can play again. I see this non-problem often in story games. That certain plot twists or stuff that drives you onward in the story, that gives you the momentum, is you wanting to find out what's behind the next door. What's in the next chapter, what's the next mission. Also getting that dope gear. You know? Taking care of that dope gear, for example, I cannot produce this metal X, so I had to maintain it with scrap. And if I were to restart this game, a thing that would drive me forward early on is, of course, Boozer's damaged arm that then later gets taken care of. But now I know it's gonna get taken care of. There's no mystery behind what's off the door. There is, yeah, I will just know what will happen. Same with Thyra. The reason why that storyline was so interesting is because we didn't know, is she alive? Then we got told she's dead, but then there's another hope that she's alive, but then we get told she's dead. Then we have an almost certain hint as to if she's as where she could be, to get that closure finally to is she alive or dead. And in that play with the player's feelings or Deacon's feelings, it will just not be there. Because partially this will be also my fault, and just because of how I work, because I remember stuff in the moment. Like, you could ask me what I would have eaten these past few days, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But you go with me to a supermarket, and I will be able to point you to point to the stuff that I have eaten the day before, because I suddenly see it, and so the memory connects to the yeah, to the moment. So the moment I will start this game, the memories will flow back. Same with many other games. This is not to say this game is bad, because this game is incredibly good. It's just a game with very little replayability, in my opinion. A different game series that has the same problem, but is still fun for me to play, is the Crysis series. Crysis 1, 2, and 3. Which have a mediocre to bad story. Like, the first Crysis is dope, in my opinion. Like, I know a lot of my school friends shit on it in comparison to Far Cry, but then jokes on them. They both got made by the same team, Feels Bad Man, or Feels Good Man, because they have created good products. And the first one and the third one have big story parts, but the second one always feels off center. Like, there's this like, you don't really know anything new in that second part, but it has the best gunplay out of all of three. Shooting in Crysis 2 is very fun, especially how the game is paced and everything. And that is something this game lacks. Um, Playing this sort of shooter is fun, definitely. Like, especially since I played Rise of the Tomb Raider right before this game, and that does this shooting system incredibly bad. Like, it's not a game I can recommend. It basically, Days Gone does everything so much better than Rise of Tomb Raider. Um, yeah, it's like day and night almost. The only thing they are comparable by are graphics, where Rise of Tomb Raider is, I think, a little bit behind still. Um, but then the price tag was also different. Um, but this kind of cover shooting and everything is stale. Or nah, it's not stale. It gets stale fast, but it's fun for a time. The way this game balances it sends you zombietons or wolves or other random encounters, so you don't really get to freeze in place. They even have some AI push you if you are too long in stationary. But then also there is a counter in the AI commander that if the player doesn't move, you don't move either. So it's not like the AI constantly pushes you and runs down a corridor just to get mowed down. That is, for example, what Rise of Tomb Raider did extremely bad. Like the AI will automatically push you if you don't progress forward. Then that is then a term of balance because the game dev probably thinks that you hunker down because you don't have any resources to push, right? So it makes the AI vulnerable by pushing you, and then you can just one-shot headshot them. This game is definitely smarter. Instead of having a system that can just simply be abused, it has also a fear system. At least let me just say it's a fear system. It's not that I know, but it's probably something like that, or it's named something else, where if enough allies die, the AI will take more cover because comrades are dead and everything. The opponent is deadly, so let's not expose ourselves. And that feeds back into the theory I had before that the longer you are alive, the more difficult this game becomes. And challenging, and then it lowers the challenging factor when you died. And yeah, and why this is a great system, it's just not a system I can enjoy over and over again. It was fun for the entirety of this let's play. I mean, how much time did I sunk into this game? Steam tells me about 73 hours. Feels good, man. This is a pretty good game with a shitty ending. If I were to ever recommend this game, it's only for the first map, for the top half. Because everything that happens below the mountain line is pretty shit. And I really wish they would have cut the lower project and then take the profits from the first half, because this is so huge. I remember that when I got done with here and then suddenly go down this path to sneak into Iron Mike's camp, I had a wow moment that suddenly the game is so much bigger than I thought. It was amazing. Especially that I don't get teleported to a second map and then I would have to endure a loading screen to come back to these two areas. No, it was immersive. I can still, even now, just drive down here, drive up here, however I want. I can even go through the Ripper territory, which I have just never done. Uh, yeah. But then we go over the cold line, and everything is burned down and boring and bad story characters. Besides, the coroner. Man, did not like the beginning of Sarah's story. It was so awful. They did a decent, or no, they did a good job with her being uncomfortable around Deke, because there was something she had to tell him, but didn't want to tell him, and then had an entire mission structured around it to then have her outburst. Now this outburst still felt a little bit awkward, because it was too sudden. Like they even had her say like, I'm a tough girl now. You know, the world changed, and every character in this world is now a toughie. And then she has this giant. She has like 2 or 3 breakdowns, and then the last big one in the lab, where she then spills the beans and everything.